Yo, what's up? Welcome back. It's Citrus Lane. I'm your host, Jess, and watch some videos with me. Do it now.
I went to MGM for one picture. Thank goodness, only one. And when I got there with my mother, we were separated. She went into the office of Louis B. Mayer, and I went into the office of Arthur Freed. And he was going to talk to me about a movie he wanted to put me in. I'm 12 years old, you know. And I thought he was a producer, but instead he was an exhibitor. And I'd never seen anyone naked before, except myself. So I had no clue about what was happening. And so it struck me so funny, I laughed at him. And I laughed uproariously. I had tears, you know, and he got infuriated. And he said, out, 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 go.
Did you tell your mother?
Well, I was very quiet. I went down and met her in the lobby of the administration building. She came out very quietly from Louis B. Mayer's office. And we walked hand in hand silently to the car, which was unusual. We got in the car driving home. I said, Mom, you won't believe what happened to me. And I told her what happened, and she got kind of quiet. And she said, well, you don't know what happened to me. And Louis B. Mayer wasn't as bad as Freed was to me. But he came on to my mother. And so we both decided that we didn't like MGM much. It was, you know, it was better at Fox.
Just wow. Just how rampant it was that they were just like, oh, well, I guess we just won't go to that studio anymore. Wow.
You want the bizarre truth? John F. Kennedy was shot on November 22nd, 1963. He was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. But what happened then? In October 1966, 3 years after the president's assassination, his brain had mysteriously vanished. An investigation was started by the Attorney General at the time, and yet a thief was never identified. The big question remains, who took JFK's brain and what was their motive? Crazy as it may seem, over 5 decades later, no one knows. The JFK assassination has sparked countless debates and conspiracy theories. Some theorists speculate that JFK's brain holds the truth about his death. Officially, his autopsy found that he'd been struck twice from above and behind. However, the brain's disappearance raises suspicions that it was stolen to conceal potential evidence, suggesting JFK was shot from the front rather than the back, and the missing organ would have proved Kennedy was not shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. In the latest twist, a theory suggests JFK's younger brother, Robert, may have taken the brain, possibly to hide evidence of the extent of President Kennedy's illnesses or the numerous medications he was taking.
So wait, somebody took JFK's brain? What? Why? Why were they even... What were they doing? Hold on. Okay, so wait. Okay, I just wanted like a refresher. Why were they even messing with his body? JFK's missing brain. Okay, speculations and conspiracy theories. Most historians regard the autopsy as the most botched segment of the government's investigation. In '66, Kennedy's brain was found to be missing from the National Archives. Conspiracy theorists often claim that the brain may have shown a bullet from the front. Okay, but like the president's brain is missing from The Guardian. This article is more than 11 years old. Who stole JFK's brain? One gravedigger claiming he had been offered 1,000 tests have been inconclusive. Okay, so it does seem as though his brain was actually stolen. How did they know? Did they just dig up his body to autopsy it again? I guess that's what I'm not understanding, is how did they even become aware of this? But by 1966, the brain, tissue slides, and other autopsy materials had vanished, and a subsequent investigation proved unable to locate them. Where is JFK's brain? Though no one knows for sure, a number of theories have emerged in the past several decades. Conspiracy theorists suggest that JFK's brain... Okay, we already know that. There's a little during the grassy knoll, but Watson... Ultimately, whether or not JFK's brain was stolen is one thing, but there's also something strange about archive photos of the president's brain. Why did I say posts? In 1998, a report from the Assassinations Records Review Board raised a troubling question. They contended that photographs of JFK's brain actually featured the wrong organ. I am 90 to 95% certain that the photographs in the archives are not of President Kennedy's brain, said Douglas Horn, the board's chief analyst for military records. He added, if they aren't, that can mean only one thing, that there has been a cover-up of the medical evidence. Wow. Okay, so just kind of furthering the conspiracy there. Back to the video. I was filming the Hunter Moon. Okay, we don't have to watch it again. I just love creepy moon trying to be like, we're gonna find her. If she's real and you're not bullshitting, we're gonna find her.
Have you ever heard of the October theory? Me neither.
No, tell me.
Until I came to TikTok. So, according to the theory, every October our life drastically changes. So my little mind gets to rambling like, what is an October theory? So according to the resources I've come across, TikTok, October theory is basically every October your life drastically changes and it pushes out the old to get ready for the new, sort of like what people do on January 1st. Like I said I was going to do this and now I only have 90 days until the end of the year, right? So I started thinking about my own personal life and I realized on the first day of October, I started having car trouble, which has drastically changed my life. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's just a coincidence. So I get onto my camera roll and I scroll all the way back to last year, starting October 1st. And guess what? The month of October is when I freshly became single. So I started researching because I'm like, maybe I'm just looking too deep in it. Maybe it's a coincidence. So I researched October just to see if anything pops up. And guess what pops up? October is the month that our calendar lost 10 days. It went from the Julius calendar to the Gregorian calendar. So people woke up on October 4th, and when they went to sleep, it turned to October 15th. And this was back in 1582. So I'm wondering, like, why did they just change this all of a sudden? And come to find out is that the Pope didn't just do it by himself. He actually had mathematicians and astronomers. So what if we've been stuck in this time loop?
I liked the direction she was taking it with, like, you know, for whatever fundamental reason, October is just like a lot of meaningful things happen in people's lives for whatever reason. I liked that idea, and then it kind of shifted into something else and at the end. I mean, time skippage would be more along the lines of what I think she was talking about, as opposed to like time looping, unless like you're talking about sentiments looping. I don't know. I'm just trying to, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. It was interesting. Definitely an interesting thought.
1582, right? Have you heard this theory about the calendar missing 10 days?
Never heard about it.
So one day, it's October 4th, people go to sleep, right? And when they wake up, it's October 15th, 10 days, just gone. What happened, right? This wasn't a glitch in the Matrix. It was because of Pope Gregory XIII. The calendar we used back then, the Julian calendar, was pretty flawed. It had a drift issue. Over the centuries, this added up. The spring equinox was falling behind, and that was screwing up the date for Easter. Gregory had had enough. He introduced the Gregorian calendar to correct these issues. So, in countries like Italy, Spain, Portugal, and France, people lost 10 days. They jumped straight from October 4th to October 15th. People were baffled and really shocked, but not everyone adopted it immediately. Protestant and Orthodox Christians decided to stick with the old calendar. It took some time, but eventually they all made the switch. That October night fundamentally changed how we measure time today. So October 4th.
I think in a few of my other videos I've made like I'm not going to listen to AI videos. And if I had noticed sooner, I wouldn't have watched it as far. But like, hold on. In 1582, Pope Gregory the 13th introduced the Gregorian calendar, a reform of the Julian calendar. This change resulted in the elimination of 10 days from the month. Okay, interesting.
If you remember any of these photos, it's safe to say you're getting those memories from your alternate self inside an alternate universe because they never existed here. Do you remember?
Yeah. That does look really weirdly familiar. Isn't that what it looks like? Is that not what it looks like? Yeah. Wait, what is this one? Yeah, don't all pyramids have? What do you mean by has four sides? Right? Like, I'm confused. Do they think like? Do they think? I don't. Yeah, but that's what everyone thought. But he didn't actually die during a magic trick. He died. What was it? Appendicitis. Okay, that one, like, I could have sworn that he died years and years and years ago. Again, is that not what it looks like right now? Those are somewhat confusing. I mean, that kind of looks photoshopped, but, like, I thought was the whole thing. I don't really, yeah, is that not what that's Dr. Dolittle. What's wrong with Dr. Dolittle? I'm confused. Does Dr. Dolittle supposedly not exist? Yeah, I thought it was DOO, not DO.
This is the everyone is dead conspiracy theory. Putting it bluntly,
Man, boring.
Your parents, your cousins, your friends, and your enemies are all dead. Oh yeah, and so are you. Let me start by saying there are two things that have been documented to happen to us when we are proclaimed dead. Firstly, our whole life flashes before our eyes. And number two, our brain lives on for 7 extra minutes. So for 7 minutes, we live in this dreamlike state, reliving everything. And we have actually recorded the brain creating these memories after the person is clinically dead. As we know by this fellow, Albert Einstein, time is relative. So it's safe to assume, just like when we fall asleep and dream at night, time works differently when we're in that dream state. Thus, it could feel like 7 minutes, or it could feel like 100 years. This theory goes on to consider that we all died in 2012 when the Mayans predicted the end of the world. And as we all try to collectively remember all of our memories, all of the inconsistencies bring about the Mandela effects, deja vu. So send this to someone right now to let them know that they might be dead.
And throw them down into an existential crisis. Yes, let's do that. let's ruin the day of one of our friends. Okay, as I do that to anyone who watches this video. What is lay happening? Yeah, why is it glitching like that? I mean, that could be an exposure thing happening with the camera. Or it could be a UFO.
Let's talk about the October theory, which states that as human beings, when it gets to October, we start to feel the same feelings we would January 1st, where we feel more driven towards our goals, where we have more focus, where we start to get more clarity, and where we just feel like we want to work towards the things that we haven't already this year. The theory, I feel the theory myself, I see my clients and my friends feel this theory, but my theory on top of this one is that should just teach you that you have it inside of you to work towards what you want to be and what you want to bring in your life. It's really, really easy to look for the external validation or something externally to drive you and to push you towards your vision and your goals. Really, at the end of the day, you already have that. You don't need an October theory. What you do need to find is what truly inspires you and what's in alignment with your values. Think together your values and what inspires.
Okay, that isn't really the scope of what I'm covering here, but like I don't know, since it is kind of a weird coincidental thing, I've kind of noticed that it seems like in this past month that I like started studying more and trying to be more productive, but that is completely subjective. Like, I don't think that's happening on like a mass scale or anything, but if it is, it's probably because it's wrapping up to the end of the year and people feel like, oh no, I wasted all this time, I gotta buckle down. Like, that's probably just the easy explanation.
Y'all, am I tweaking? Or why does the moon look like
Damn! Why does it look like a fireball?
It's
what is
like,
happening? Oh, now, oh wow, whoa.
Look.
Now it doesn't look like a fireball. It looks like a drippy piece of cheese.
Right there, or trees, nothing. Why does the moon look like that? Like something's in front of it.
Bro, because the mothership's in front of it.
Yo.
Clouds. One of the
No
comments
trees,
is
no
clouds,
mountains,
pal.
nothing. There's no trees, no mountains, nothing over there. What the fuck?
It doesn't.
Yo, that shit got thinner.
It doesn't even look like any
The
clouds
shit
either.
got smaller. The moon started off cutting out, like pieces of it is disappearing. It's gone. What the fuck?
Nice. Bro, watch the moon disappear.
October 25, 2024. My numerology is telling me that this day, October 25, 2024, was going to be a day to remember. Now, what is going to happen exactly on this day, I can't tell you. Because even if I knew, I'll be putting myself at risk. So, I'll tell you that I don't know.
Cryptic.
But October 25th is the day. On or about October 25th. If you come in my comment section talking about nothing gonna happen on October 25th, is it October 25th yet? If something happens on October 24th at 10:24, then p.m., then don't say that I wasn't right. I could say it's on or about 10:25, October 25th. It could be nothing. But I'm telling you, something that all of us truthers and people that make my style of content, we're all going to be making videos about something that happens on October 25th. You heard it here first. October 25th.
You heard it here first. You heard absolutely nothing. You heard me say that I didn't know something. But even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You gotta wait and watch it yourself. What is it? Man, I meant October 26th. That's what I meant. Nah, man, I meant October 27th. Actually, what I meant was 10/24/25. That's what I meant. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? Computer, obey.
A married couple, Stetson and Shannon Parker, were on a romantic getaway in Colorado celebrating their 10-year anniversary. They were on a train located between Silverton and Durango, two cities in southwestern Colorado, when they looked out and spotted this.
An elusive creature.
What? That's totally a Bigfoot.
Alright, just squat it down. Yeah,
It's not CGI or nothing. It's 100% a Bigfoot.
They saw a strange Sasquatch-like creature sneaking through the nearby brush. So the husband got out his phone and took that video. Shannon writes in her Facebook post, "As we're slowly passing by the mountains,
if that
Stetson sees something moving and
wait.
then says, 'I think it's Bigfoot.'" The couple and most online viewers believe this really was the elusive Bigfoot. I mean, it looks just like what Bigfoot is said to look like, and it's even attempting to hide and blend in with the surrounding brush, not wanting to be seen by the public. Skeptics say it could just simply be a man in a costume, because judging by the video, it looks to be a similar size of a human. But the couple and other people who witnessed it in real time concur. They say they think it was about 7 feet or taller, which is a lot taller than the average human. Shannon was later interviewed by the New York Post, where she said, "If you asked us before our trip, we could have said maybe Bigfoot is real, but now we are convinced." Shannon also snapped a few photos of the being as they drove by as well.
Man, those are horrible, horrible pictures.
I find this particular encounter very interesting because of the amount of substantial evidence. It definitely leaves you and I with very many unanswered questions.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's definitely really interesting. I don't know why I want to believe in Bigfoot. Maybe because it just feels like one of the last like kind of magical things about like humanity, like this thing that essentially has like a forest step, like it exists in the forest and it can like move within the trees and nobody knows, even though it's so big. I don't know, it just seems like an IRL fey creature, so it's very interesting and I want to believe in it, but I don't know, that was really grainy. It could have been a dude in a suit, it could have been CGI, it just didn't look that convincing. But that's also like, if I saw that in person, I would probably be like, whoa, that's Bigfoot. I don't know. We're like halfway through the video. What do you guys think of the mustache? Comment below. Tell me how stupid I look.
So there's a theory.
Yeah.
There's a theory that Marvel Marvel Comics wasn't actually founded by who we think. It was actually founded by this Filipino guy that nobody knows about.
What?
Yeah.
What the
So take this in. As we know, Marvel was actually founded by Martin Goodman, right?
Okay, yeah.
Who was originally called Timely Comics in 1939. Only in 1961, I believe, they changed it to Marvel Comics, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's this illustrator and author that created comics in the Philippines. His name was Mars Ravolo. Marvel? No, what the Ravolo, right?
Marvel.
Vel. He was really popular in the Philippines. He made one of the first superheroes 1948. He had his own like publishing of comics. The theory goes that he actually sold his intellectual property just so that he could build up his comic studio bigger.
Really?
So he sold all of his IP. Marvel Studios gave it to Martin Goodman. And then they took Marvel Comics and made it something else.
Wow. But he was the start of it.
So that's like the whole theory. But you have to keep in mind, bro. This shit was all told to me by a drunk Tito. I looked into it. Ravlos is a real person. He did make comics around that time. Like, that's real.
Okay.
So there is a possibility.
Okay. I mean, I like the dude actually looked into it. I didn't know if they looked into stuff at all. That is cool. Marvel is a word. Yes, Marvel is a word, but it also, like, could have come out of his name, but, like, I don't know. It sounds kind of flimsy, to be honest. He didn't find, he means found Marvel. He sold his stuff. They found, yeah, that's also a clarification to make. And yeah, a lot of the characters are from Stan Lee and, what was it, Jack Kirby? The other guy?
Helene is the deadliest hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland since Katrina, producing tidal waves of damage in the mountain valleys of North Carolina.
It sounded like you was at the ocean. It came up to the...
You'll meet the resilient citizens who are still counting their dead, helping each other clean up and clearing up conspiracy theories.
The U.S. government did not geoengineer the storm.
Helene is the deadliest hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland since Katrina.
That was just the end of the clip.
The storm.
Hold on.
Geoengineer.
Hold on. Why do I not go past
The
that?
U.S. government did not geoengineer the storm.
That sounds exactly like somebody who did geoengineer a storm and fuck up would say. Just saying.
Hurricane Milton 2024.
Tell my family I love them. I'm sorry, bro. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm only laughing because I'm so panicked. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's inside. Oh, that sucks. Was that real? Did you actually not be able to find them? I need more updates. This song is terrifying. Oh, it's AI generated. Okay, no, I don't. Well, wait, hold on. Representation of a Category 6 hurricane. Wow. Holy. Well, that looks more like just a tornado, but okay. Wow. I don't feel like some of those are accurate, but I could just be not understanding. I could just be not understanding the scale of like the terror there. Does Milton know about this? Isn't that Milton? So I'm not a meteorologist. I mean, I guess everybody has a basic understanding of like tornadoes and hurricanes. I guess I didn't think that they tunneled visually like that. Like, okay, who've been up playing Hurricane Simulator? Yeah, I thought that like there was wind and everything, but I didn't think that they actually like tunneled. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just didn't know that. Oh my lord. the Jurassic noises in the back are even better. Oh my god. Nice. Yeah, I was done with that office anyway. Oh my god. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I'm so sorry to everybody that went through this. Yeah, I love the dinosaur noises in the background. That was kind of cool to see. That's just horrible. Oh my god. Bye. I'm expecting to see explosions. I don't know how that. I know that's not how like vehicles work, but I just want to. I just want to see explosions. It's like, but dude, it's covered in water. It's like, I know, but still.
Alright, y'all, so check this out. This was the moon yesterday. See it?
I do, yes.
This is the moon tonight.
I see that, yes.
Look at that. How's that possible? What's it doing?
That's what?
Alright, y'all.
Okay, you made too short of a video. Some of them are too long, some of them are too short. It does the same thing it always does and has forever. Well, that's not totally true, but okay. There was a time before the moon.
This rabbit hole is a stepping stone which exposes Earth as nothing we were taught. We're not where we thought we are, which leaves who we think we are scrambling, but inevitably we should always be led back to ourselves, not stuck on a shape. This is the same as clinging to the shape or form of the body. The breakthrough moment is realizing the self beyond the mind-body illusion. Realizing that you're not connecting to God or experiencing God's creation. You are God or the universe experiencing itself. You're not in one place, your presence evokes all space. You're not one person, your presence is all of them. Through our mind, we're only seeing our own beliefs through the spoken word. We fell into the mind and became separate from wholeness or completion. We are home in our presence and always have been, but can never accept this until we experience a full and total ego death. Only then do you break through the boundary of appearance and disappearance, the seer in what's seen. In 2022, it was proven the universe is not locally real, but through confirmation bias, the eyes reject what the mind is unwilling to believe, which means it's not the objects changing, it is only your beliefs. The purpose of the theory is to remind people of an intelligent design versus random chaos.
There is order in the chaos. That's really like all that I have to say there. There wasn't, I mean, a lot of that was just like, I've taken mushrooms and now I feel like I understand the nature of reality when like things are much, much more complicated than that. Like I too have taken lay mushrooms and like that doesn't, it does give you, it doesn't make you a smarter, better person. It doesn't like, oh, I know more because, you know, I have opened myself to believing that I am all space and all time and I am all people. And it's like, yeah, but you still like get, you know, like caught up in the life of the day to day and, oh, like, yeah, I do, you know, in this perception, I do physically exist in one spot. Like that is my current perception. There just wasn't a lot of substance there. Like there is no spoon. Ooh, cryptic. Mystical Matrix reference. Ooh. Okay, let's pause. Oh, there's a lot. I'm a flat earther, and I believe the moon is not a solid object. I believe it's the sun's reflection without the color nor shine, and the reason for its phases is because of something unknown in front of the sun. I mean, that's definitely an interesting thought, for sure. Is it just gonna stay on that the whole time?
If you look directly at the moon.
Oh, you start talking. Okay, cool. Somebody said try thinking harder next time.
I'm making this video. Did you know if you look directly at the moon, at the sun with your eyes, you
probably shouldn't, but go ahead.
Actually focus through the glare and see the actual size, which is similar to that dot that's in the flare here.
Okay, but again, you probably shouldn't because from what I'm aware of, it can damage your eyes because it's too much light.
Did you also know if and when you see the moon? Hold on, let's see. Where is it? There it is. The lit side of the moon, which is slight top left, is your shortest trajectory to the sun. For instance, you see it's top left. I'm gonna zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. If you go the top left, if you rotate to your left, that is the shortest travel to the sun. There, i.e. your hour hand. Let's go back to the moon. And you see the slight bottom right is the dark. That is the longest travel to the sun. And we go. There. That, I assume, is how your Mayans came up with your time, your hour hand, your minute hand, and of course, it constantly rotates, so you have a second hand.
Maybe I'm just smooth brain. I don't really understand what he was saying. Turning to the left doesn't automatically mean that it's the shortest path, or turning to the right being the longest path. I don't really get that. I don't really get how he came up with that. I just don't get it. I'm too smooth brained.
So you're in Genesis chapter 1. It says, God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the water. So this is creation. What happened is that there was water, and God put
there was water, and he wanted to separate the water from the water, so he put water in there. Sorry.
Firmament between it. You see that dome? I'm going to explain to you what that is through Scripture. That is the firmament. And everything is within the firmament, not out in the universe. Let me prove that to you. And it said in verse 7, God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. So you see that there's waters which we have under the firmament, sea, land, that's under the firmament. Then there's waters also above. Keep that in mind. Above this firmament. What does firmament mean? Well, firmament, the first word firma, actually just means solid, and ment is just the end of a noun. So it just means solid thing. If you look in Ezekiel chapter 10, in verse 1, it says, Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them, as it were, a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. So above the cherubims is God's throne. And there's a firmament above them. And it says, as it were, a sapphire stone, the appearance and the likeness of a throne. I believe that to be describing the throne itself, not the firmament. There's a firmament above the head of the cherubims where God's throne is.
Okay, so there are two firmaments?
Where God's throne is, it's describing a firmament under him. You see that? The firmament is under it. So I'm going to show you what a firmament actually is. Revelation chapter 4, look in verse 6. And before the throne there was a sea of glass, like unto crystal. And in the midst of the throne, round about the throne, were four beasts full of eyes before and behind. So what is the firmament? It's a sea of glass. It is described by the Bible.
Oh, so it's just like super duper thick is what he's trying to say.
The word itself actually does mean solid thing, but according to God's word, it's a sea of glass. And that actually makes sense when you look at Genesis chapter 1. You need something that is hard to divide water from water. So I'm telling you that the firmament is what divides the waters from the waters, and it is essentially like a circular disc, is what the earth is, with a dome.
Well, hold on. I liked this picture. This is all just for entertainment. I don't believe in flat earth, but even if I did, I like this picture where the waters do, like they seep out of our world and kind of like are all encompassing. I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see it, but like this like circle, this cycle. That's very interesting. I don't believe in any of it, but it's interesting for sure.
What divides the waters from the waters, and it is essentially like a circular disc, is what the Earth is, with a dome on top of it. And this dome is glass. Maybe not what we think of as glass, but God created a solid thing.
Figurative glass. Got it.
Job 37, verse 18. It says, "Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as molten looking glass." So the firmament is glass. It's as molten looking glass. The firmament was under the throne, that sea of glass, and it is also what divides the waters from the waters.
That's a cool depiction too. I like the columns. Second heaven. I like that iteration. That's kind of cool too. Like a snow globe heaven, or snow globe earth. I like that depiction as well. The other one just kind of looked cooler. Are we done? Okay, cool.
Possible spaceship sighting captured in St. Lucia thunderstorm on October 2nd, 2023.
I mean, I guess I don't really see it. I don't really see it. Just point it out to me in the comments below.
Apothecary, I'm Carrie Kendall. For those of you who've been following me, I've done videos about how the sun remained in Virgo for well into October. Today's date is January 26th, and the sun has barely entered into Capricorn. Obviously, after January 26th, the sun should be well into Aquarius. I've received comments saying that it has to be the Gregorian calendar, that's caused everything to become out of sync over time. Because Ophiuchus is the 13th month that just suddenly appeared when NASA decided, oh yeah, we forgot about Ophiuchus back in 2015. But what I wanted to point out is that there are 52 weeks in a year in the Gregorian calendar. That's equal to 13 months. So the sudden arrival of Ophiuchus doesn't make any difference. All they did was take the extra 4 weeks and scatter it throughout the 12-month calendar. The point is that the sun is not where it should be. We still have cold weather in January. It's winter. But the sun is far higher in the sky than it should be at the end of January. It is not in Aquarius. It hasn't even exited Capricorn. This is a problem because when we're told the Earth goes around the sun, that would mean the Earth would have had to slow down or stop in order for it to not be in its appropriate place across from each zodiac sign or each constellation. And we all know that that's impossible because that defies physics. Now, this is not where I want to start arguing about the flat Earth model versus the heliocentric model, because I'm beyond that now. What I'm doing is showing you evidence that supports the flat Earth model, because it is the atomic model of the world, the torus field model.
I think it's so funny when people are like, I'm not even arguing it, I'm just showing you the evidence. And it's like, okay, so you're providing an argument.
And what that means is that it is actually a torus field with a flat accretion disk inside of a double torus, where the stars are spinning and the sun is spinning and the moon is...
Okay, so I'm not a big brain smart boy, but for average people...
Because I'm beyond that now. What I'm doing is showing you evidence that supports the flat Earth model, because it is the atomic model of the world, the torus field.
Okay, it's the atomic model. So it's the model of the world from an atomic scale, I guess is what she's saying?
Model. And what that...
The torus model, is that what she said?
Flat Earth model, because it is the atomic model of the world, the torus field model. And what that means is that it is actually a torus field with a flat accretion.
Okay, a torus. Let me see if I'm even spelling it right. Is like a donut shape. I wanted to look it up to show you. This is a torus. So what is what is an accretion disk? An accretion disk. Oh, it had something for me. There we go. I just spelled it wrong. Oh, there are no images because we can't, like, an accretion disk is a structure from, and I didn't really know this, but I'll just read it to you. An accretion disk is a structure, often a circumstellar disk formed by diffuse materials. So it's the thing that happens around a black hole from the, like, things that are being ripped apart via spaghettification. Like, it is the friction, uneven irradiance, magneto-hydrodynamic effects, and other forces induce instabilities causing orbiting material in the disk to spiral inward toward the central body. So she's kind of doing some word salad
where the stars are spinning and the sun.
Okay, it's a torus field and a flat.
Sun is spinning and the moon is spinning, but they are not actually solid bodies. Inside of this torus field, this model of the world, it's pure energy, and
yes,
all states of matter will find their respective places within a given medium, within this structure.
Okay, this is what would be the accretion disk, but they're people that talk like this and don't really know what they're talking about. The hot accretion disk of a black hole showing the relativistic effects imposed on light when it is emitted in regions subject to extreme gravitation. This image is the result of NASA simulations. Accretion disk is not like another word for a flat Earth world. Like, that's not what an accretion disk is. Like, we can break it down. I think people are getting caught up. I think accretion. Nope, not disk, just accretion. Accretion, growth or increase in size by gradual external addition, fusion, or inclusion. Something contributing to such growth or increase, or in a biological sense, the growing together or adherence of parts that are normally separate. So I'm curious which definition applies here. I guess I'll let her continue.
So people who continue to argue and say, well, the flat Earth doesn't explain this, doesn't explain that, it does. It explains everything that the heliocentric model attempts to explain, because the heliocentric model is an inversion of the torus field model. It's an inversion. That means both models can explain the same phenomenon. So the goal is to determine which one is correct. When someone says the flat Earth model...
Okay, if they can both describe the same phenomena, if they... You're saying contradictory things. If they can both describe the same phenomena, then they're both correct. So following that up with... So we're trying to figure out which one is correct. But you said that they both describe the same thing. And also, if I ask you, what is 2 plus 2, and you say -4, while -4, I believe, is the inversion of 4, that's not the correct answer. Because I asked you what 2 plus 2 is, not what is -2 plus -2. Or what is 8 minus -4. Like, I didn't, that, or what is -8 minus 4 or plus 4. Like, you're saying contradictory things. So just
doesn't make sense or that it's illogical, that just shows that they're ignorant because, as I've said...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I am kind of ignorant. That's fair. Hold on. I didn't hear that in its full context.
Model attempts to explain, because the heliocentric model is an inversion of the torus field model. It's an inversion. That means both models can explain the same phenomenon. So the goal is to determine which one is correct.
I mean, my charitable argument there is she forgot to say attempt to explain, and that's where the next sentence will make sense, but whatever.
Flat Earth model doesn't make sense or that it's illogical, that just shows that they're ignorant because, as I've said, it's just an inversion of the other model. It uses science, logic, and reason. If you imagine that these constellations are spinning at a specific rate and the sun was spinning slightly more slowly, that's why it would have been in retrograde, moving backwards through the constellations. And now it's not. So what that means is that the sun has caught up with the spin of the constellations. So it's staying up with Capricorn. It's in retrograde, but much more slowly. These lights above us, they are lights. We don't know what they are. They are ethereal bodies. And people laugh at that, but see, you've never actually been to the sun, have you? You've never been to the moon. We have no idea what they actually are, except many scientists believe that the moon is plasma. And this is why you're not taught about plasma in high school. We are only taught what they want us to know.
I was taught about plasma in high school.
They have admitted to spraying the skies. They're trying to hide something. We know that it contains...
Who on earth was not taught about plasma in high school? That is such a stupid thing that I keep hearing. Did you not pay attention in physics? Or did you not pay attention in class at all? Right, you must have been skipping class. I don't know why people say stupid shit like that. Sure, schools will teach you a lot of stuff. But I also remember a physics teacher giving us a lesson, and we had a paper on our desks, and he said, and the paper was talking about dihydrogen monoxide, which adults should know that that's just water, and it had all of these things like dihydrogen monoxide is responsible for this, it's toxic if ingested this way, blah blah blah, if you try to breathe it, it'll kill you, and so at the end of the lesson, he was like, you need to use your critical thinking skills. That was one thing that stands out. And then another time he was telling us about, to make a really long story short, you learn little things so that you can expand and learn big things. They will teach you some minor concepts, and then once you get into the thing, you realize some of the minor concepts weren't even correct to begin with. They were just meant to be intriguing, which probably isn't good long term, but that has been explained to me several times by teachers.
Aluminum and barium, which is reflective and would cause the atmosphere to heat up. As we've experienced, we have cold weather outside and the sun is blazing hot. My opinion is that they're hiding the return of the Christ energies, which are accelerating now.
That was a jump. That was a massive jump. Oh, the sun, which is supposed to be millions and millions of miles away, is hot. And it gets cold outside. And that doesn't make sense. And that's just to explain a cover, and they're just covering all this up because of the that is just such a jump in logic. Oh my god, wow. She was getting the sense her video was too long, and she needed to wrap it up, get to the meat and potatoes, I guess.
And this will affect everything, every living being.
I like this. What is this? I like this. I don't think it makes any sense, but it's cool having the notes connected like this. That's neat. And shapes, notes, shapes, and colors. Hell yeah, I'm all down for some notes, shapes, and colors.
Have control over the masses, and that is why they are attempting to escape this world with their rockets and their agenda of trying to open up wormholes or portals using CERN. Regardless of what may happen.
Why does that freak people out so much? Why does that like oh yeah, it's cool when it's cool and it's interesting when you're playing BioShock Infinite and you're messing around jumping to alternate timelines, or oh yeah, it's cool when you're watching Spider-Man Across the Universe, but oh no, like a company actually try to understand the fabric of the universe and open wormholes. That's just madness. Like I do not understand that at all. Like yeah, there might be like I don't necessarily agree with them not being open to the public, like in HARP's sense. Like if you're fucking with weather, like maybe tell the public. Like don't just be shady about it. And like if you're opening portals, like say that, don't be shady about it, but like it shouldn't surprise anyone that's actually happening because of the media that we grew up on, the sci-fi content, like all of the advances in technology. Like that shouldn't freak people out. Like it's the future, guys. Like it's not just gonna stay stagnant, it's gonna progress and go forward. Oh, that makes no sense why people are like, oh my god, they're opening black holes and other universes. Like, yeah, our world's kind of boring. Don't you want it to be like interesting? Like, okay, joke over. Video. I guess that's a good spot to end. I gotta go do stuff. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I always say this, but I'll try to be more consistent. Bye. Have a good night. And a good week, because it'll probably be a week. Okay, bye.